All right. We ready to get this started?
Okay. Yeah, I guess so.
Good beans. All right, so starting out, our first question is, it's about the parking lot scuffle. And it's, why do you believe that the conflict between Tim and Jay escalated to physical violence?
Because they were at a standstill, like both of them were just mad and there wasn't a lot they could do. And they just got frustrated. And it was personal, like, when your car gets hurt, like that's personal.
Yeah, for that question, I blame Tim mostly for just being too aggressive right off the bat the whole time.
Yeah.
Didn't seem like, I think with that a little more toned down, that the fight, I don't think, if it weren't for Tim, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with holding Tim accountable for the escalation of the incident itself. I think that the approach was poor off the bat. I think the de-escalation process probably would have had a different outcome. Just generalize it.
Yeah. Tim definitely started it out on a really confrontational note where it didn't necessarily need to be quite as hostile, but because it was personal property, I could definitely see why he would be so hostile. I also think Jay walking away without really like addressing any concerns, that led to the physical contact as Tim was trying to get him back into the situation. And so then it turned to physical violence because Tim probably thought that Jay was trying to like escape the situation and he kind of got desperate.
Yeah.
To continue it.
True. Okay, what was the second question?
Second one is, how might anxiety have played a role in the conflict?
I mean, you go ahead. I'll wait till you say something and then.
I have, just from the text, I guess that the tension arose from Tim wanting Jay to take blame and Jay wanting Tim to take the blame. So they both had an internal state of tension that arose from believing their needs will not be satisfied because the other one would not take blame, I guess. That's what I have.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
So I think like as far as like the communication factor being there, like definitely was non-existent. When Jay walked away, like you stated, Kelly, I think in any natural state, tension is flared because at the very minimal, you want somebody to show some kind of ownership, or at least at the very minimal, some kind of like, caring, or empathy for the other person's, situation. So the fact that he walked away without any regard, I think definitely lacked communication aspect of the situation in its entirety, which definitely could have had, this situation escalate like to the next level.
Yeah. I think Jay probably felt threatened, or like they both felt threatened a little bit at least, because Tim came in with hostility and Jay was doing, like, he was trying to resolve it at first by just like trying to figure out the situation, like why he was even there, and he was just responding with more hostility. I feel like he just felt like threatened, and then obviously Tim wasn't going anywhere either. Like he wasn't getting any answers. He wasn't like fixing the situation. So yeah, I was kind of just like, they weren't going anywhere.
I don't know if any of you guys have been in car situations, but especially like dealing with insurance, you know, potentially having to pay a lot of money unexpectedly is really anxiety inducing.
Yeah.
So I think they were looking probably at as opposed to resolving this conflict of what was going to happen if it wasn't resolved. Like they might have to go to court, like insurance was going to have to get involved. And so I think they were both just, you know, plus, you know, this is probably what, 8 a.m. in the morning. Like that's not a
Yeah.
good way to start the day, not how either of them were planning on continuing with their day. And so that kind of interruption, I think, can cause a lot of anxiety, especially when it's tied to kind of a bigger implication of responsibility.
Yeah. All right. Anybody have anything to add? Is that it?
Anxiety.
Wait, is there like a place where these questions are? Sorry, I'm so confused.
No, you're good. They're in Canvas.
They're on the, so
I think in the modules section.
Because I'm in like where module 2 is, and I'm trying to find them, but
Trying to look. Yeah, so it's in if you click on the Zoom discussion assignment, it'll open up with like it has a submission link, but it also has all the questions.
okay. Sorry, I was just so confused for a second.
All good. And I think we covered the sub point. Was the emotional contagion inevitable? Why or why not?
Is that question asking, is like the level of aggression inevitable? Or like, is the end result inevitable? Is that?
So I just looked it up. And the book, at least my book, says emotional contagion is a general term that refers to the tendency for emotions to spread among parties in a conflict. So essentially, like if, you know, Tim obviously started this out really aggressively, but did it have to continue that way? I think is the question.
Okay. Yeah, I think I don't think it had to continue that way. I mean, there's a ton of different things that both of them could have done throughout the conversation to like not be so confrontational with each other. But the way they handled it, I think it's inevitable that that was the end result. Like one of them's going to get fed up.
For sure.
outside factors too of it being early in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
Tim coming in with that aggression in a way like it was inevitable. Like if anybody starts off like being that upset and ready to have a problem, then you're kind of, because he kind of tried to resolve it. Jay kind of tried to resolve it, but yeah, the way Tim was acting was not okay.
For sure. I think probably the introduction of an intermediary probably would have cooled things down a little bit. So
Yeah.
I think they probably work at the same place if they're in the same parking lot. So, you know, they could have said, how about we take this to HR and let them kind of talk us through it? Or, you know, how about you give me my insurance, or you give me your insurance, I'll give you mine, and we can
Yeah.
later this week. Or, you know, obviously, like, people get really touchy about their personal articles. So I think, you know, even if both of them went into it with aggression, one of them could have kind of tried to keep it down a little bit. And I think Jay did try to do that by just walking away, but he didn't like provide any context for that. He just dipped.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe if he said like, well, he did say like, I'm calling the police, but
okay. Yeah.
If he maybe didn't go to call the police, maybe
Yeah.
he was, I'm gonna go get like somebody, like I'm gonna get a third party, you know, then maybe even then he would have, because he would have walked away and he would have, or Tim would have calmed down a little bit maybe, but who knows.
Anybody else have thoughts on emotional contagion? All right.
Okay.
So there's a sub question. Oh, okay.
Christina, I don't think we can hear you. At least I can't.
Yeah.
I can't either.
No, I can't either.
Oh, we
Okay.
can chat.
Okay, we're waiting. Where are we on time?
We started at the 6:23, I think. We're about 10 minutes in.
Okay. Okay, so let's keep asking the questions.
Okay. Could anything have been done to avoid the escalation of anger and to inject some positive emotion into the situation?
Wait, can
Yeah.
anyone hear me now?
We
Okay,
got
good.
it now.
Yeah, now we can. Yeah.
Okay, my mic was being really weird.
No worries.
Okay, now we got you.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Continue reading the question.
Okay. Could anything have been done to avoid the escalation of anger and to inject some positive emotion in the situation? I feel like we covered that earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure how this could have ended like super positively. I mean, it is
No.
a crash, but
Yeah.
could have diffused it a little bit.
Yeah.
Which cultural models of conflict does Tim's behavior most resemble? What standards concerning how conflict should be handled does this imply? What about Jay's behavior?
Is that the confrontation and harmony? Are those the two models?
So
So it is. Let's see. I had it.
I have like confrontational model for Tim, but I'm not entirely sure that I interpreted the question correctly and read the right models. But
Yeah, I
think
think it is
did.
the harmony and confrontational ones. Yeah.
Yeah, I said Tim, the confrontational model, just uncontrollably aggressive right off the bat, and then Jay, like potentially like the harmony model at first, and then confrontation once he didn't have control of the situation.
Yeah. Maybe regulative model.
Oh, I missed that
one's
one.
harmony. Yeah. For
Okay.
Jay, just because he was trying to kind of like he was like, let's get the police. You know, like he was trying to ask questions and find out. Yeah, maybe that one, but he kind of moved to confrontational too. So.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, you can't exist in a regulatory model forever if the person you're up against is confrontational.
Yeah, I covered it.
All right. What, if anything, could Jay have done to forestall the impact of expectancy violation on the conflict?
Wait, sorry, could you read that one more time?
Yeah,
My
for
computer
sure.
like went out.
What, if anything, could Jay have done to forestall the impact of expectancy violation on the conflict?
I kind of feel like he couldn't have really done
That's
a
what I
lot
said.
because they already found themselves in a situation where they were both like, what are you doing? Like they both had already been, you know, in a, you know, like I don't know how to phrase it, but yeah, but they both started off on the wrong foot. Basically, they weren't like one of them wasn't parking where they were supposed to, and the other one was like not informed about where to park, and like
Yeah, I think even if Jay took full responsibility right off the bat, I think Tim would have still just blown up. I don't think there's any controlling Tim in that situation.
Well,
I think he would have just kept yelling.
Yeah, the Pope kind of went all aggressive at each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure there was much Jay could have done to calm that situation down. Like you said, even if he took on full responsibility. All right, and last one. What might Jay and/or Tim have done to sort out their mistaken attributions from actual competitive intentions?
I don't know. Read it one more time.
Yeah, for sure. What might Jay and/or Tim have done to sort out their mistaken attributions from actual competitive intentions?
Maybe maybe approach it with a much more calm demeanor. I think the answer is always going to resort to an element of communication, like a de-escalation phase, if you will. That would definitely have a different outcome. That's what I keep going back to, at least.
Yeah. But maybe also Tim could have accepted responsibility for parking in a reserved spot.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, that still wouldn't have fixed his moped, but it would have been a start.
Yeah, I think just trying to move on from blaming each other and trying to figure out whose fault it is, and just starting to go forward with, okay, what do we do about it now? Do we call insurance? Who do we get involved? Like, does everybody have a ride home? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
It would have, because, there doesn't, like, everybody's losing in this situation. There's no winner.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Right. So I think we're pretty good on time for this guy. If we want to go ahead and switch over to chapter 4, does everybody feel good about that?